rejected a popular guy from high school who tried to hit on me as a joke. So after I aggressively rejected him, he was really mad. Not because he wanted anything to do with me, because he didn't, but because his plan basically backfired on him. What I found out later was that he was planning with his friends, with his group of jock friends from my high school. He was planning to, text me, make me want him so that they could laugh at the text and that they could laugh at the girl that was like the nerd girl from school that was so down for the jock that everybody likes and blah, blah, blah. It actually really is baffling to me because, like, looking back, the fact that they were so confident that every girl would fold for them, even a girl that he had bullied and made fun of for so many years. He was so confident that I was going to be so down for him. Like, the confidence that he had, the delusion that he had. So his plan basically backfired in the most humbling, horrible way for him. And this is even more evil, knowing that not only was he trying to, get the text of me being down for him to embarrassment, but he was also, I found out that he was planning with his friends to lure me over to his house so that they could all collectively laugh at me for wanting to be with him. So I basically got my revenge in the best way possible, because what happens is that the texts get leaked. But now, instead of me being made fun of for being down for the jock and him making fun of me, now he's the one who's getting rejected by the loser, by the school nerd. You can imagine the ego destruction that he had to go through, because even his friends were like, oh my gosh, he got rejected by the weirdo. So, I mean, I wasn't really sure that he was trying to make fun of me. I genuinely wasn't interested in him when he texted me, because, like I said, I couldn't get over the years of bullying that he had put me through. But it all, unknowingly, I ended up humbling him. I ended up destroying the biggest jock's ego. And my friends, because they were so mad, they even perpetuated this throughout the whole year, the whole school year. This was like a thing. This was like a thing in school. So yeah, this is how I rejected the popular guy from my high school that bullied me for so many years.
During my freshman year of college, I overheard the boys in the room above me call me a 6 out of 10. So for context, my freshman year, I was in room 108, and these boys were directly above me in room 208. The windows were basically like this. And whenever my window was open and whenever their window was open, I could hear everything that was going on. This friend group of boys would always meet in 208, and they would smoke together out of the window. So one night, I'm going to bed, it's 1 a.m., and they're in 208, all together, smoking. As I'm falling asleep, I have my window open because it's hot in my room. I like to sleep in a ridiculous cold room, and what do you know? I can hear their whole conversation. But things start to get a little crazy when I hear my name get brought up. At the time, I was in a class with two of them, and one of them had a very distinct voice. Those voices when they speak, you're just like, yep, that's that person, and it's you don't even have to know them that well to recognize their voice. Well, I could very distinctly hear this one boy start talking about how he has a class with me, and the other one's like, oh yeah, we all have a class together. Then one of them chimes in and says, yeah, she was one of the first girls I saw on Instagram when I decided I was going to Northeastern. I saw her Instagram and I was like, damn, she's so hot. Starts off great, I'm not gonna be, mad if someone calls me hot, whatever. But then the one with the very distinct voice starts talking about how in the class that we have together, I don't look nearly the same. They pull up my Instagram, sounds like they're passing the phone along because you're hearing, each of the boys' opinions about me. The one with the very distinct voice. I feel like I need to come up with a name for him, so we're just gonna call him Darren, okay? So Darren is the one that I had a class with, and Darren is also the one that has a very distinct voice. So Darren decides he wants to chime in, and Darren says, oh, she does not look like that in real life. She looks like a 9 out of 10 on Instagram, and a 6 out of 10 in real life. Obviously, after I heard them say this, I was shocked. I was very upset. And, you know, the Darren, I think we're calling him, I forget. After he said that, all the other boys were like, oh yeah, like, she's not even hot on Instagram, like, she's not even, like, that pretty, like, I don't know what, like, you're saying, she's not even a 9 out of 10. Really ripping on me for no reason. Eventually, their conversation moves on, but obviously I don't. I'm still, like, so upset and so mad. But if you know anything about me, you will know. There is no way someone is gonna wrong me and get away with it. I decided, the second that I saw Darren the next day, I was gonna confront him. For some reference, we were all abroad together our freshman year, and it was a very small group of us, so I knew that the likelihood of me seeing him was high. So what do you know? I'm walking home from class, back to my dorm building, and I see Darren. He's walking to class, I'm walking back from class. He has his AirPods in, so I stop him, I tap him on the shoulder, I go, you're Darren, right? And he's like, he looks at me all confused, he's like, yeah? And I'm like, so I actually just wanted to let you know I'm in the room right below, you and all your friends, and last night I actually did hear everything that you guys had to say about me, and I just wanted to let you know that, like, I know what it feels like to be in a dark place, I know what it feels like to be insecure, and feel down on yourself, so if you ever need someone to talk to or someone to relate to, I just wanted to let you know I am here for you, and you can always reach out to me. His jaw was dropped, to say the least. He looked at me like, the only words that he could get out of his mouth were, I am so sorry. And I looked at him and I gave him a great big smile and I said, no, seriously, it is totally okay. And I walked away. Now, of course, he told all his friends that I heard what they all said, but of course he didn't tell them how I confronted him. No, that would be way too embarrassing for him. So he just decided to leave that part out. You know, at the end of the day, if he was going through something and he was obviously very insecure, then it was probably worth it. So, best of luck to you, Darren. I hope that you're doing well out there.
When I was 18, I used to work at a gas station for a couple of years. And there was just like one older dude that always came in really nice, but you know, as the weeks passed, I started getting like super flirtatious and stuff. And I always wondered, I was just like, he's not creepy, like he feels pretty normal. Why would like a 50-year-old man like be hitting on like an 18-year-old? Like that's really weird, right? And on top of that, like this is an entirely like white neighborhood, and I was wearing hijab, and this was a long time ago, so it wasn't very diverse. So I was extra like, what's his catch? You know what I mean? So as the months progressed, it became this thing where he just always would like flirt with me. I would kind of brush it off because like retail, you have to like talk to customers, and it was never vulgar or anything, so I just kind of like, true, you know? Until like he asked me out, and then he was like, let me take you out sometime. And I laughed because I thought it was a joke, and he was like, no, like for real, like when are you gonna let me take you out? The dude was like whispering, and I was like, I'm 18, like this feels illegal. So I was like, no. And then he would like be like, okay, and he would just keep shooting a shot. It became a regular. I wasn't really bothered by him. 3 years into the job, he pulls up with his wife and kids.